Hello and welcome to The Big Fight. This has been a week that has been marked by lots and lots of people asking that Arundhati Roy and Syed Ali Shah Gilani be arrested and locked up for sedition. Other people saying that that's absolutely the wrong thing to do. All of this, of course, brings us back to that central question that we have debated before in The Big Fight, and no doubt we are going to debate it again a dozen times perhaps. The entire question of the freedom of speech. How far does the freedom go? Should it be subscribed in some way? And if so, if it should be curtailed, in what circumstances should it be curtailed? I'd like to welcome the panel, which is going to be helping us discuss some of the tricky issues around all of this. Gautam Navlakha, human rights activist who has frequently made statements that are unpopular, at least in this particular audience. But should those be illegal or curtailed in some way or the other is the question we're going to try and address. Swapan Das Gupta, senior journalist, great to have you with us. Shoma Chaudhary, managing editor of Tehelka, somebody else who has not been hesitant to express views that may not always be popular. Fantastic to have you with us. Kanchan Gupta, associate editor of the Pioneer, who's also been very active, of course, on the internet. Matthew Wade, journalist at the Sydney Morning Herald. Thank you so much, Matthew, for being with us. You can help us perhaps tell us what happens in Australia and also other countries like America and the rest of it. And we are being joined from Mumbai by Rahul Narvekar, head of the legal cell of the Shiv Sena. Okay, let me first start off by diving straight into it. Now, Arundhati Roy is not here. Not that we didn't invite her, but she hates coming for debates and discussions like this, which is part of the problem, I guess. Question number one, should people like Arundhati Roy, who make statements in a sense questioning India's sovereignty over places like Kashmir, be arrested? Gautam. Not
just her. I mean, why should anybody
you
be
also
arrested?
Said it. Okay, so
no, why should anybody be arrested? And in fact, I'm surprised that nobody is asking the question, why is it that no action was taken against the hooligans who tried to disrupt that meeting? I mean, people should be allowed to say, if you don't like it, criticize, condemn, rebuke. There is the way of going about it. You can't silence somebody.
But why is it wrong for the people who were there, who didn't like what they were saying, if they were loudly saying that we don't agree with what you are saying?
Fine, walk out. Walk out. Walk out. Listen to what they have to say. Condemn them, criticize them.
Rahul Narvekar, in that particular incident where Syed Ali Shah Gilani are making statements and Arundhati Roy are making statements that people find offensive, who was to blame?
If you realize that the law in our country is very, very clear. You do have under Article 19(1) of the Constitution of 19(1)A of the Constitution of India that gives you the freedom of speech and expression. But 19 subclause 2 makes a clear proviso that these are not absolute rights. These are subject to reasonable restrictions. So even looking at the legality, the statements made by Arundhati Roy clearly come within the ambit of Section 124A of the Indian Penal Code, which talks about sedition.
There are two aspects to this case. First is the question of law, which is, it's not merely the Constitution which is the issue here. It's also laws which have subsequently made, in particular, and which is relevant in this case, is something called the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. Unlawful activity is that which is intended or supports any claim to bring about on any ground whatsoever the secession of a part of the territory of India or the secession of a part of the territory of India from the Union. It's very clear. So now the point is, I didn't make this law. This was a law which was made in 1967. This is the law as it stands. Now, the message of Arundhati Roy, in my view, was not only unpalatable, it was obnoxious.
Okay, fine. Well, so that's his okay.
Vikram, in the case of Arundhati Roy, what is really problematic is that people are not discussing why she said what she did, are not taking issue with that. But the premise that has been there in all the national media discussions is that should she be tried for sedition or should she be ignored? She was not inciting violence. She is not the government. She is not the Home Minister. She's not the Prime Minister. She's not the Foreign Minister. She does not need to toe the government line.